All of us through Katrina really went through a lot of stuff. But to try to bring a restaurant from the top, rip it down to the bottom, and then return it all the way to the top was probably the hardest work of my life. And taking 220 employees, reducing that to about 30, trying to hire in 190 more brand new people that had never worked here before. And a lot of them are people that weren't even from New Orleans. So to try to explain to a kid from Idaho what New Orleans is all about, much less cook it well, and well enough to put it on the menu here, was a massive undertaking. Literally from 6 in the morning to midnight at least, every single day for months and months and months. And as you cruise around here, I mean, there's just so many stations. Tonight we're gonna run 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 full stations on the hotline. A lot of times the smaller restaurants are gonna have 2, they're gonna have 3. There's just a lot of more complex, complicated dishes just based on that. To try to get this place back up to where it was a pretty big feat, but we did it. And I think the awards on the wall and everything else that has come out of that really speaks to the success of what the owners and the rest of the chefs and restaurateurs bring here. What's up, Kenny Meyer? How are you, brother?
Bring that rabbit?
Yeah. Make some saltimbancas tonight. My name is Tory McPhail, and I'm the executive chef at Commander's Palace. Here in the city, it's all Creole food. And Creole food is really a refined version of Cajun. And it's more of like French, Spanish, African, Haitian, or Creole Caribbean influences. And really, it's kind of America's first melting pot or fusion food that really dates back about 250 years. It's all about seasoning. We season all of our food very well. So when you make this, you butcher the rabbit, you season the rabbit, you stuff it with pastrami, prosciutto, some fresh tasso, whatever you have, crawfish ball mozzarella. You get all that mozzarella curd in the bowl. You start ladling on all this great Louisiana crawfish boil. Same thing we boil up all of our seafood in. It really helps to give our hand-pulled cheese just that much Louisiana flavor. You can't just simply add salt and pepper to the end and expect you're gonna have a Louisiana dish. You'll get laughed right out of town if you do that. I grew up in a tiny farming town in northwest Washington State and ended up enrolling into culinary school when I was just 16. So they told me in culinary school, look, man, if you really want to be a great chef one day, you got to work for the best. And if you want to do that, you only have 2 options in life. Either go directly to New York City, but if you really want to learn how to cook, you come down to New Orleans. And if you're lucky enough to come here, get an interview at Commander's Palace, do anything you can possibly do to start working in this kitchen. And that's the advice I took when I was younger. Started out making salads and charcuterie, worked up through all the stations. Now been back here as the executive chef for about 12 years. I go through literally probably 200 of these things every single day. I'm tasting the entire kitchen about 20 minutes before the start of every service to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect. Soft shell crab, extremely seasonal. They're hand selected just for our restaurants. They can go from alive and the most beautiful fresh seafood to on your plate in about 4 minutes. We pair that with some fresh stone ground grits. We fold in a ton of fresh goat cheese, 3 sauces around the outside, a ton of fresh herbs, a bit of butter, heirloom tomatoes right off the farm. It's one of the last states in the country where you can literally buy fresh fruits and produce right out of the back of somebody's dusty pickup truck. You know, for us growing up in the Northwest, you literally had to get all your food from like a certified vendor. It wasn't nearly quite that farm to table. But here, as you can see, we do all of our own jarring. Pickles, okra, fresh tomatoes, hot sauce. There's like 3 or 4 different varieties over here. And it's literally just food that's picked from the farm that day, brought to a great restaurant like this, where the sous chefs with the years and decades of experience were able to kind of continue on the Louisiana traditions that way. Last night was a blast. I get to hang out with all my buddies, eat, drink, do what I love to do, and that's what helps me collect a paycheck. That's ridiculous. I'm getting my first cocktail of the evening. Normally I'm just so hot and so full when I get out of here. The last thing I want is like a big glass of red wine or a cocktail. Just give me an icy cold beer. I'm good. Pop these into to-go cups and head down to the corner. Good. All right, let's go have some fun. This is Britt, she's my girlfriend, right? This is my buddy Joy, I've known her for years and years and years. And of course, Darla, she's like my work wife. She keeps me in line. Now that I've had like a first beer, I'm kind of in the mood for a proper cocktail.
Proper?
Yeah.
What do you consider a proper cocktail?
Something better than like gin and tonic.
Not a soup?
Yeah, something not in a plastic soup cup. So right now we're in the Garden District. We're gonna head down to our newest place, Sobu. It's in the French Quarter. So we go from fine dining restaurant all of a sudden to the best cocktail bar in the South. There we picked up Juan Carlos Gonzalez, our executive chef.
It's been a cool year and a half. You know, hanging out with Tory, you know, messing around, coming up with some cool food, good cocktails. That's what it's all about.
And Abigail Goulot, she's our bar chef.
I had someone say, "What do you got over there?" I said, "Kittens."
What you got?
Barrel-aged white Vieux Carré. The Vieux Carré, which is French for Old Square, which is what we call the French Quarter, is equal parts cognac, sweet vermouth, and rye whiskey with a little bit of Benedictine and 2 different kinds of bitters. Plan, chef.
That's any indication on how our evening is gonna go. I think it's pretty indicative, yeah. The Abigail starts breaking out all this like cool, funky bourbon, right? She's got some stuff where she made her own fireball. And we start pouring off some of that. She made rum dum-dums and served those in the little coquetiers, stainless steel aluminum little cups. That's why actually the cocktail got its name. After people imbibe and they really start to have a couple of cocktails, the word coquetier got slurred into cocktail or cocktail. That's how that whole thing came about.
You got a bunch of stuff going on for us?
That's what we got.
This right here, this is what we call shrimp and tazo pinchos. Pineapple's been grilled and marinated in a bunch of molasses and a bunch of rum for like a couple days. We have a little chimichurri sauce and a little bit of crystal hot sauce beurre blanc as well. This right here, this is yellowfin tuna and escabeche. This tuna has been caught 5 o'clock in the morning, super, super, super fresh. On top of that, we have some Scotch bonnet pickled fennel, some grilled red onions, and some beautiful local satsumas.
Rockstar. Great. We had some beignets last night with some Louisiana sweet potato, sticky cane syrup, and some sea salt, some foie gras jelly across the top. Juan and I met 12 and a half years ago at Commander's, and it's like slam-packed busy, and I kept on calling him Jose all night, but he wouldn't respond to me. I'm like, motherfucker. I said, look, man, I don't know what your deal is. Okay, I need food, I gotta have it right fucking now. Not responding. I'm like, dude, what the hell is your problem? He's like, my name's not Jose, it's Juan. I'm like, great, man. Right? So we've actually finally talked it out, did all that stuff, and he's been one of my best friends ever since. It's been great. So we had some proper cocktails last night at Sobu, and then went to the chart room. We'd have a couple of libations, should we say. So what are we drinking?
I'm drinking Nola Bon, but I think we should have some Jameson.
For the last Hurricane Isaac,
Yeah.
I was right here in this bar.
I was here with you. Remember
That's
me
right.
and Aaron? Remember we had like our boots on and our
right.
dresses? And
That's
we
right.
were like,
Trouble.
Yeah. And I remember being freaked out. I was like, there's nobody around. Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
so weird. And then I saw the traffic tranny, and she was directing the National Guard, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It's back to normal. The traffic tranny is directing the National Guard through the empty French Quarter after a hurricane.
Indeed. The chart room became kind of local hangout after we started opening Sobu. And so we'll get off from Commanders, come down here, check in with all the gang, make sure everybody's good, and we'll come right next door to the chart room, swing over, grab a couple of tequila drinks, icy cold beers, and then relax, just like it should be. And we actually just became friends with the bartender, Lisa. And so when we had a chance to be able to come and hang out with extra buddies, we decided to take them to the chart room all the time. We're gonna suck these down and we're gonna go up to Sylvain.
Really?
All right?
Yeah. Got more good stuff to come. We're just leaving the chart room, and so we're cruising down the street. All of a sudden, look over, and there's a second line, right? Brass band marching right down the middle of the street. We jump in, we start dancing and partying in the middle of the streets of the French Quarter. I just love having impromptu stuff like that. That's why I love New Orleans. How cool is that?
That was very
I can promise you that's not happening in Idaho tonight. Second line goes into the bar. We go on along our way, end up at Sylvain. It's kind of a precursor into modern New Orleans French Quarter restaurants. They serve late, so we get out of the restaurants and you can sit down and have like small little tapas-style food, but very New Orleans too. So what's the deal with cocktails, babe?
You can count on everything being absolutely delicious here. It's like everything's really simple, really approachable, and just delicious.
Order so much of your favorite cocktails, and Juan and I can order a bunch of food. We have like champagne and French fries, killer soups. Chicken liver mousse is very popular down here. We call it poor man's foie gras.
Wagyu beef belly.
I don't know anybody else in New Orleans is serving Wagyu beef belly.
Really?
And ripping it off like that. Sweet, salty, it's rich, huh? That sticky sauce on top. I don't know, it was like a beet of root beer or some kind of like sugarcane or molasses glaze. Very rich, very satisfying. What's happening over here?
This is coming in a go cup. I'm getting this to go. Because this is a civilized city where you don't need to chug your booze, you don't need to chug your wine, you can just put it in a go cup and you can saunter on to your next place. I pour things for a living, so I'm actually good at this.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you.
Hannah! I'll meet you there. I gotta go with her. It's a good, I gotta be
No, we need our crew, man. Come on.
Her and Lila. Oh, Lord. Finding some boyfriends along the way. It's French Quarter, New Orleans, man. You walk out of a place, they're like, hey, what's up? What's going on? We're going to Sobu. That's what's going on. So we bounced from Sylvain, walked back up to Sobu. Sous chef Schmitty put in a bunch of pork butts about 6 o'clock yesterday morning. So we took those, we pulled them out. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. And all this meat's just like literally just falling right off. With all that jus on the bottom, all that stuff goes back into the meat. So you kind of reabsorb all that great seasoning. That's really freaking good.
So we got amazing like couche de lait, and we're just gonna find some beautiful Louisiana oysters to go with it, and we're gonna make our own little tacos to go with it.
So as we're pulling all this stuff out, Abigail says, God, that's so good.
I got the drink for this.
You do?
I got the drink for this. I gotta make it. I'm gonna make it.
So she jumps behind the bar, she starts pulling out all these really good scotches, and then makes a brand new cocktail just based on what she was smelling in the kitchen. And it worked perfectly, you know? You got smoky pork, a couple crispy oysters, pickled okra, cilantro, fresh mirliton, pickled carrots and vegetables, foie gras aioli across the top. That paired with good scotch, that was like the capper for the entire evening, man. I don't know about y'all. Like we didn't already have enough.
You got the right group, the right table, and some good tacos, my friend. It's gonna be a good night.
All this stuff should go on the menu.
Like, immediately.
Can we bring this to life tomorrow?
It's already on the menu.